8766.
All right, welcome back to the show. I am your host, Dan Edwards, managing broker of the Eastside real estate team and the Seattle real estate team. And I am now joined by our good friend, Mr. Rob Young. Welcome, Mr. Young. You're looking so young right now.
I can't help it, Dan. Good to see you. You're looking great.
Thank you. It's been a while. All right. I've got this awesome introduction. Rob runs Puget Sound office of Oasis Senior Advisors, where they help seniors and their families when home is no longer safe. Oasis Senior Advisors specialize in finding the right supportive living situation, whether it's independent living, assisted living, memory care, or adult family homes. So after Rob retired from Boeing, thank goodness, maybe they could use you back to secure those doors a little tighter, Rob. I don't know if that was your role, but that was many years ago. He discerned a calling to serve aging seniors and their families through a stressful journey when they're searching for new housing. Some seniors want to remain independent and just live in a community with great dining room that takes care of the housekeeping and plans social activities, and others need 24-hour care. Oasis Senior Advisors walk seniors and their families through the journey with a free service to them to help find the right independent living, assisted living, and adult family home or memory care setting for them. Welcome to the show, Rob. It's really good to see you. Like I said, it's good to see you. We've got some awesome questions here. Okay, so your process when you first meet with someone, how long does that take? How far advanced should people be?
Well, so we typically encourage people to be meeting with us maybe 4 to 6 weeks ahead of their need. When they do meet with us, it often takes anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour, sometimes more. But the whole idea is, we can help people if they just need placement within 2 days. Maybe they're at a skilled nursing facility getting discharged and they're being told they can't go home. And in a case like that, we need to find something very quickly, and we do. Okay. But in cases where people are being proactive and thinking things, they're working ahead of the need, 4 to 6 weeks is a great amount of time.
4 to 6 weeks. Okay, awesome. So does your phone usually light up after the holidays?
It does, actually. And, sometimes people will come back and say, my gosh, I hadn't realized how much things had changed for mom and dad since we last saw them. And that's when we get kind of an urgent call.
All right. So like the housing process, many people kind of think about hopping on the internet and looking for homes. How should somebody start their search?
Well, they can just call us because, the reality is, just like with homes, there are lots of options out there. We actually have more inventory than you do, Dan, because inventory really isn't a problem for us. So we have the inventory. Okay. But the issue we have is that there's a lot of deception out there. Just a couple of weeks ago, I needed to get the phone number for a community that I knew of, right? So I Googled them and I put in the name of the community. And I looked over the first page of results and it's like, nope, that's not them. That's someone else. That's someone else. I had to go to page 7 before I saw their official website. Everything in between there was someone else trying to sell me their thing. Yeah. And some of it's pretty deceptive. They'll have little buttons that say, oh, click here for pricing. And you click and you're suddenly taken into a new website that someone else owns. There's a little button that'll say, by clicking above, you've agreed to our terms of service. And yeah, their terms of service might include that they're going to do a credit check on you. They will own your name forever, which in this state is actually illegal. Anyway, lots of scary things can happen on the internet.
So what you're saying is don't go on the internet. If you have somebody that needs help in this regard, and I've seen it, right? Specifically, if computers for many of our seniors, right, are new. I mean, obviously they're not brand new, but you know what I mean. And you click here, you click there. Next thing you don't know what happened, and a package shows up at your door. So it's much better to have a throat to choke is another way. It's like, Rob, what did you do? You're right there in the flesh. I mean that just as somebody that guides you through. So let's talk about professional help with the process. I think part of it was implied by that, but why else?
Well, there are so many options out there. I mean, just in the around the Puget Sound, we have hundreds of communities that are licensed for assisted living, and we have thousands of adult family homes that are licensed. In Bellevue alone, there's over 130 licensed adult family homes. These are homes that, for the most part, don't have a sign in front of them. They don't have a website. You'd never even know it was an adult family home. We know them. We know the caregivers. We have seen the last state survey from the last time the state was in inspecting them. We can see if there have been any investigations or civil fines for violations, things that a lot of people don't know about. We're going to help you find the place. We're going to cut through the hundreds or thousands of options and get you just a handful that are going to be a good fit for your needs.
Well, so speaking of places, which one's the best place in the area?
I get asked that question a lot. And the question is, what's best for you, right? So there are some places that are really, really good for memory care, right? Well, if you don't need memory care, that's a lousy place for you.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what your needs are. And that's, again, where we come in. If you're not working with Oasis, there are other agencies out there. The quality ones, the ones that are ethical and have good business practices, are all members of our state industry association, the Association of Senior Referral Professionals of Washington.
So what's the acronym on that?
ASRPWA.org. And you can look at their membership list. We're proudly there. I've been an officer and a board member for 3 full terms. But I just encourage you, if you are going to work with somebody, if you're not sure you want to work with us, check there, and you'll definitely be working with an ethical, reputable agency.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about the signs that somebody might need to consider a retirement community.
Well, as we get older, things just take longer, right? So you might find it takes longer to do your shopping, navigating the aisles, making your list. Takes longer to prepare food, longer to do laundry, longer to clean the bathroom. And pretty soon you just run out of time in the day, right? Your whole day is just consumed with this stuff that has to be done. And then you're even falling behind on that. That's a great time to call us, right? Because the communities that we work with are going to offer at least 1 meal a day. Some of them have 3 meals a day with snacks. So you may be able to reduce or even eliminate the need to go to the grocery store. You'll reduce or eliminate the need to prepare meals or do the cleanup afterwards. All the places we work with include hotel-style housekeeping. So you don't have to scrub the toilet anymore. You don't have to wash the sink and the counter. You don't have to worry about the kitchen. You don't have to change the sheets on your bed anymore. And removing those kinds of drudgery things just frees up time for socialization, making friends and hobbies, things like that.
Yeah, they call it the golden age because you're supposed to just sit back and relax and enjoy it, right?
Well, the people who do just sit back and relax, those are the people who aren't going to live very long. What we want to find is a place that has the socialization so that instead of sitting back, you're getting engaged. So you're making friends. You're getting involved in maybe a philanthropy that your community is working on. You're going out on outings. One community I was at just yesterday, they have an upcoming trip to the Tulip Festival up in Skagit County.
That's coming up, yeah.
Do the people have to drive? No, they have a community bus that's going to take them, give them door-to-door service the whole way. And while they're on the way, they'll be able to talk with friends. I mean, what a great outing that is.
That's awesome. So I just turned 50. Okay. So I mean, kind of like remember when 50 was a big deal. Now to me, 50 is the new 30. But I feel like I might be forgetting something. So what's the difference between just normal aging and dementia? Am I in the realm of dementia yet?
Well, I got to tell you, Dan, the 50s is a ship that's already sailed for me. So, that's gone. But what we do find is, having some memory slips is just normal, right? And that happens more and more as we age. It's okay. Do people need memory care if they're forgetting a lot of things? And the answer is no. Memory care really is a term of art in our industry. And it means you're going to have specialized programming that just reduces anxiety. It's simpler, it's not as complex. In memory care, it'll also be a secure facility. So you cannot leave on your own. Now you can leave it when you're escorted by a family member or, somebody like that, but that's just not appropriate for most people if they're just getting a little forgetful. When you go into an assisted living community, people are free to come and go as they like. They may seem pleasantly confused to you or me, but they're safe where they are and they're living with dignity. So if somebody's just having memory issues, that doesn't mean that they need memory care.
I think that's great. That's great. My wife's grandmother ended up eventually in memory care, and there was probably a good 2 years of grandma. I think we already talked about that before she was committed, right? Because it was not like boom all of a sudden, and that's always a bummer. It's always hard on the family. So finding the right care at the right time is really super important. So mom and dad getting I think we kind of talked about this. Do they need it? Maybe, right? Let's go on to this one. Adult family home. What's the difference?
Well, adult family homes have a higher care ratio. So in assisted living, you might see anywhere from, one caregiver serving anywhere from 10 to 20 residents, right? And that's really good for things that can be scheduled. Like if somebody just needs bathing assistance or they need help with compression socks, right? That's something that can be scheduled. You don't need a caregiver assigned one-to-one all day just to do that, right?
Yeah.
So that's a case where assisted living is really good. Adult family homes typically have 6 residents, and during the daytime, they'll have 2 caregivers on staff. So that's really where, you've always got someone there at your beck and call. If you need help getting up, if you need help with toileting, you need help with, all kinds of things, right?
That's a little bit higher level of care, but not quite full-time urgent care or hospice.
Right. And although hospice is a service that can be brought into any of these care settings, so on an outpatient basis, and most of the hospice companies don't have any hospice facility. Like they don't have a place for you to go.
Oh, right, because it's in home care.
Yeah, they're just bringing it to wherever you are, right? They can do that in an adult family home. They can do that in assisted living. They can do that in just a freestanding, anywhere. Right.
So with all of these choices, Rob, and all the kind of thing, how do we verify? How do we know that they're getting really quality care in those private homes?
That's a great question, because you might say, gosh, Bellevue has 130 of these. Who's monitoring this, right? The answer is the state has dozens of people who are making surprise inspections on these places all the time. In addition to that, people like me are enlisted as mandated reporters. We are in these places regularly. So you may have 6 residents in there and 3 of them are receiving physical therapy from a home health company that's sending physical therapists into that adult family home. They're all mandated reporters. So if they're seeing something that's wrong, or, residents are unsafe or unclean, or, all those things, we're mandated by state law to be reporting that. It'll get investigated by trained investigators very quickly. And the other thing is, even a family member, if you have concerns, you can call the state ombudsman, you can report it to DSHS, Department of Social and Health Services, to investigate. So there's all kinds of ways for just concerned people to raise, if they have a concern, raise it.
Yeah. And I feel like, do I have the right number scrolling across the bottom for you, Rob?
Well, let's see.
I think that's your cell phone. I think I need to switch that.
No, I'm not. I don't recognize. That could be one of those. Our website sometimes throws up a trackable number, and that might be the trackable number.
Let's see. So how do people get a hold of you then?
Well, the best way is to call us. Our main line is 425-526-7111. That's our main line.
Yeah, I thought that I had replaced that, but for some reason it didn't. So if you already called Rob, I'm glad you stayed to the end because this is the right number. You can also Google Oasis Senior Advisors. Make sure you're clicking on Oasis Senior Advisors because these people will put whatever thing in. Rob, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really enjoyed our conversation. It's been a while. We hope to get you back on and we can kind of get a little more specific on some of the other stuff. So thanks again for coming on.
Thank you. Really appreciate what you do for the community, Dan.
Yeah, you bet. So that is concluding our show. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you or anybody you know has a local business that you want to shout from the mountaintop, we support local businesses and we want to have you on the show. This was a little bit longer podcast than we're used to, but that content that Tucker and I talked about, bring you back on. Tucker, thanks for coming on. Appreciate having you. What are you doing this weekend?
So busy weekend playing golf Saturday morning at Washington National.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing the Cherry Blossom run on Sunday at UW.
So now's the time to go check out those cherry blossoms on UW campus. It's fantastic. They're in the shape of a W. Let's see. I was going to go W.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Everybody have a wonderful, fantastic, safe weekend.